Hello and welcome back to Europe Contenders Trials. Labasco and Blank here with you as we're getting ready for the 4-0 British Hurricane versus the 2-2 Bazooka Puppies. Blank, very big game for Bazooka Puppies. They're kind of in a tough spot right now, middle of the pack. They need the win here to really give themselves the best possibility of making it. They're not completely done if they lose, especially with the fact that Copenhagen Flames just lost. But this is a game that will all but seal this too for the side of British Hurricane. But looking at this one as far as Bazooka Puppies, you know, how important, obviously, you know, is it to play well against a team who is undefeated?
I mean, British Hurricane have come back into trials reinvigorated, right? They've got Albion, new coach. They're looking for a head coach at the moment, but he's taking the reins pretty well for the time being. They've got new comps. They're a bit more calmer. It seems that their dives are cleaner. The way that they play points is cleaner. Bazooka Puppies, obviously, they're 2-2. They've struggled before. They're struggling now. I mean, is this the wall? Have they hit it already? I mean, British Hurricane, they've looked so strong, but if Bazooka Puppies do take some maps off from the day, that's confidence. That's big confidence you do need. But I'm probably more expecting something like a 3-1 today from British Hurricane and Bazooka Puppies.
They looked so good yesterday, too, against Shoes Money Crew, who beat Copenhagen, who was a team that almost everybody thought was sort of a lock.
Everyone was so excited, right? Yeah.
Right. Exactly. But that hasn't been the case. We'll see if that's also not the case here. If Bazooka Puppies can maybe change things around with that. They are in the red. In the blue is the British Hurricane. And we're seeing Doomfist Sombra on both sides here, Blank.
Yeah, 100%. So we're already getting in. We are Li Jiangtao. I mean, Ilios. Oh my God. We're on Lighthouse, but Labasco, I'm gonna let you take this.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back with you, Blank. It's been a little bit. Contenders China, I think, was the last time. Kind of just poking at each other right now are both of these teams. Zapri looking for somebody to dive onto, maybe with the rest of the team. Hasn't been able to find it. Actually, Zapri's on the... There is no Doomfist, and he's going to go down to Fusions here at the start. So British Hurricane already happy with the way that this is going. Nesh was able to find Milky Man as well. So this is pretty much a fight one for the Hurricane, and goodbye, Diva.
And this is a pretty terrifying staging from British Hurricane so far. EMP comes out almost immediately.
Yeah, already up. They've got the nano boost as well. They've got a bunch of ultimates that they're going to be able to work with here going into this next one. For Bazooka Puppies, I mean, they don't quite have that burst potential. I mean, sure, Tracer and Sombra is still not a bad combo together, though.
Yeah, Cranks has got the EMP, right? He's going to come to the next fight, but British Hurricane, they expect that. You expect the Sombra to have an EMP every other fight, so either they try and get the Diva Bomb out early in this, but Happy's called at 92% in the moment, so it's looking pretty dire. British Hurricane, they just want to hit that 50% mark, and then they're feeling pretty safe.
Yeah, and Bazooka Puppies, that was kind of just like a dry push for them too, wasn't it?
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, they want to get some more ultimates, but already Doomfist ultimate coming in.
So now they will look here for Bazooka Puppies to see what they can try and do to work around what ultimates are left. You still have, of course, the Meteor Strike and the Sound Barrier that can come out here on the side of British Hurricane. But, of course, you have the EMP here for the side of Bazooka Puppies. If they can get big value out of it, that might change things around. Nesh going on to the backline now, hacks the Diva going in. But here comes the Meteor Strike, misses any targets, but finds an Anna is Kibbet regardless. So doesn't even matter there. Hurricane's still in a good position in this fight with the main healer down, and you're starting to lose some people for the side of Hurricane. I think they are just going to reconvene here, but that was almost a fight that they had a chance to win.
Oh, 100%. I mean, they had to get back into it at this point. But they've already accrued like a lot of percentage already on the point, so they're looking pretty strong. But Bazooka Puppies, they potentially have a chance here. We did see last game Copenhagen Flames got it from 0 to 99%, so there is a chance.
It's weird because, like, they were losing numbers for Hurricane, but they end up being fine in this fight anyways because of the way that they just disengaged and then came back. Serge Jaffrey was on the point, but he almost gets taken out. He does manage to get the Anna at the very... Or, sorry, he ends up getting Nesh, but it doesn't matter. Happy Cool coming in here with the Diva and now taking out the Diva on the other side. And Mete, who really can't do much here, as British Hurricane is going to win this one. It looks like 99-0, just chasing down these last few eliminations as they do clean this point up finally. And there goes the overtime meter. Oh, but the Sombra just gets back in time to stomp it out for a second. So not done yet is the side of Bazooka Puppies. Now they finally get off the point. British Hurricane really dominant in that first one, though, Blank.
Yeah, 100%. They look so strong. Their staging potential was so good. They always knew where the enemy team was, and they took a decisive turn on it. It's kind of strange Bazooka Puppies playing such a composition that is able to recontest and re-get onto it, but it's tough. It's tough for them.
Now, when you think about how that went, though, like, are you surprised? Like, Bazooka Puppies didn't change anything. They really kind of just kept with what they were doing.
100%. We're having a pretty tough time here because I know I'm desynced. I'm desynced from the feed, so I think Labosco is actually in the past or in the future. I'm not sure at the moment. But we're gonna try and get that fixed for you real quick. We might be thrown to a break. I'm sorry you might miss a little bit of video supposed to get this sorted out, but we're back as soon as possible.
Sorry about that. Back here right now. It's 1-0 right now in favor of British Hurricane, but Bazooka Puppies have taken control here on well. 47% on Ilios. Blanket Labosco here with you. Zapri on that McCree right now, trying to keep some pressure on Kib, who's on that Ferris. So far, though, so good. Bazooka Puppies having things work out for them, but now KYB coming in, has the Rocket Barrage available, trying to stay away, but everybody below him is dying, so British Hurricane going to have to regroup.
Yeah, it's a decent way to get out as soon as possible. Bazooka Puppies, they're running with the Sound Barrier coming up. We've got Transcendence as well as. So despite British Hurricane having so many offensive ultimates, we've got the Primal Rage, they've got the Valkyrie, things are going to be hard for them to push onto Bazooka Puppies. Already at 72%. Zapre coming on the Deadeye as well as. Kib's in a harsh position.
Still looking for somebody just dealing out that. The fair changes are not yet in here on the patch that they're playing on for Contenders Trials. Something to keep in mind as well for those of you watching at home. Nesh shooting his arrows right now for Hurricane, and they're able to get one with the Barrage, and now the Primal Rage by Fusions finds two as well. So maybe this is the switch that Hurricane needs.
Yeah, Bazooka Puppies, they only invest the Rally and the Transcendence, however. It's good calls from them because they hold on to the Deadeye, they hold on to the Sound Barrier as well as. Mete's got the Diva Bomb, they're going to come back on this point. It's an easy recontest. British Hurricane, they're only running with the Transcendence.
A lot of ultimates, too, for Bazooka Puppies here, though, to recontest and take this one back. They do have Trans, though, for box, so there's still an opportunity for British Hurricane to hold on here and maybe fight through some of these, but first going to be popped by Zapri's the Deadeye, and he finds the Winston. So good start here at the very least. Nesh will take out the Supercharger, but his team already losing numbers, and Hafikul gets stuck, doesn't get the mech back. What a great one there, using that flashbang to make that one happen. Kib chasing down a few players, though, here, making this super difficult for the side of Bazooka Puppies.
And that should have been an easy recontest for Bazooka Puppies to get back onto the point. They invest the Supercharger. It gets taken out almost immediately, which puts a massive dent in their damage outputs, right? So British Hurricane, they're able to get back onto it. Kib makes a big play towards the end, but Hafikul, I'm so surprised that Bazooka Puppies got caught out by that.
68% right now for British Hurricane, continuing to build up here. Dragon Strike coming through on the left side, does split off part of the team. Hafikul able to find Milky Man. In the meantime, Crank's falling as well, so continuing to go British Hurricane's way as they have built up to 80% now. They're just trying to chase down the stragglers here, trying to stagger out as much as possible Bazooka Puppies.
100%, moving them back 85% and climbing. It's tough for them. It's absolutely tough for them now. Bazooka Puppies have to get back in. They have a slow composition, only room with the Diva Bomb. Bucket can get out of the way, Transcendence, and Kib can unleash a huge barrage.
Looking for that barrage opportunity. Self-destruct going to come in first. Kib able to avoid it here. Mete, though, is able to at least find the Mercy. So you have the Mercy out of the fight. Transcendence here. Boop coming in. Doesn't get anybody in, but that's okay. Still a chance here for British Hurricane. Kib getting Milky Man is a good start. They're pushing some of these players away. Use the Nano Boost onto the Diva. Dragon Blade comes out, but it's taken out. Nesh getting taken down. Fusions as well with the Primal Rage. And it looks like British Hurricane is going to be able to swing this one back around as they just have a Tracer who's on the point to take care of. And there goes the overtime meter. British Hurricane here winning this first map and going up 1-0.
And despite it looking so bad for them at some points, British Hurricane, they do manage to get back in there towards the end. Bazooka Puppies had so much time, right? But in the end, it's frustrating. It's frustrating because Milky Man is dying so early in most of these fights, and they lose a lot of this pressure to take space with a Winston.
That's something that we'll have to be paying attention to as we move on into map number 2. But before we get to that, we're going to take a quick timeout, and then we'll be back here with game number 2.
I felt like running through the pouring rain. I felt like letting go of my mind. I felt it coming with no ground to brace. I think I just might be bad for you.
Welcome back here to Europe Contenders Trials. Labasco and Blank with you. We are going to Hollywood here for map number 2 between British Hurricane and Bazooka Puppies. British Hurricane already with a 1-0 lead, and Blank, Bazooka Puppies, you know, they had that second map where it looked like they were maybe going to force a third, but British Hurricane made the appropriate swaps and completely turned the map around. How does things change here for Bazooka Puppies on Hollywood? We already see it looks like they're maybe going to go with a Sombra Doomfist comp, perhaps.
I mean, so far Bazooka Puppies, like the composition they ran, second point earlier, like you were talking about, it was exactly what they needed to shunt British Hurricane out. Despite that, British Hurricane, they managed to find the inroads and then make their contest on the point. Happy Cool finds the big pickup and they just work from there, and then they just pressure the advantage. Here on Hollywood, it's a little bit different. Compositions mean a lot more, especially when the defender's spawn is so far away, you can't quickly make those swaps out. You have to run with what you start with. British Hurricane running basically this really massive anti-dive, expecting it coming out from Bazooka Puppies. They're going to have to watch out for the Sombra here, but British Hurricane, they look pretty good in case Bazooka Puppies, they come in rushing.
Well, they're coming here a little bit slow. It looks like Zapri's just going to go forward, try and get a little bit of scouting out here. Oh, Cranks almost ends up falling there. Super close to losing your Genji before the fight even starts, but he's able to stay alive and get up on that high ground. Get a little bit of damage out, too. They're kind of trying to make their way around on the left side, but the Roadhog hook is going to stop them from being able to do that completely. Don't lose anybody because of it. So Bazooka Puppies still starting to position themselves to maybe make their dive in. Looks like now they're going to do it. Nesh was the target that they were trying to hack. He doesn't get hacked, though. Is able to stay alive through it. And they're going to find their first picks for Hurricane.
The sleep comes through onto Winston. It's such an easy pickup. They've already got the D-Mag. Pretty much Bazooka Puppies just have to back out. And the worst thing for them is that Zapri's only on 37% ultimate charge. They needed that Sombra ult. British Hurricane's comp's all about slowing Bazooka Puppies down. And if you can continue to do this, this is going to be about another 2 minutes before we even get our first EMP.
Pocket got slept there at the end, but that doesn't really matter because there was nobody there to do any follow-up for it. But now, like you said, not in the best position yet for the side of Bazooka Puppies. Their dive going towards that backlight again. Dragon Strike out in front. Doesn't really do anything, though. Everybody was able to avoid it because of how mobile this comp is for the side of Bazooka Puppies. See if they can take advantage of it. They do get Kip out of the fight here at the very start, but Milky Man falls as well, so no main tank here. Happy Cool dangerously close to falling, but is able to get healed back up, so Hurricane's still keeping up their tanks here in the meantime, but now comes out the EMP along with the sound barrier. Riptire from spawn here in desperation, though, coming out. Doesn't find anybody that was exploded in the air. So this is really good for Bazooka Puppies. They do have a Valking Mercy that they can try and take out. Quickly eliminated here. Happy Cool anti-nated and Bucket onto the point just to stall. Not going to happen as Zapri now getting some effect here on this Sombra and still has a little bit to go, but they've got a lot of ults to work with here for their push.
100%, 100%. They're going to have the Blade, probably going to wait out until they get the Nano Boost, but it's such a massive pick onto Kib towards the beginning of that fight. They really needed that Riptide. They were relying on it to find the initial pick. The Bazooka Puppies, they can't res because there is a Mercy and there never will be in that situation. So British Hurricane, they have to back out. Unfortunately, they lost Kib there, but now they're going to make the defense on point B. Next switch of the Widow, he's a really, really good Widow, and the long sightline point B is just going to favor him here.
Had already found a pick here at the early part, but it was so early where the, by the time the cart got anywhere where it mattered, the respawn was able to come back in because it was so close. So already getting a little bit warm on that Widowmaker. Has the boost too from the Mercy, so makes him even more dangerous. Sab, try to get that sleep. I don't think he got it. Nano Blade coming out here from Cranks. Does manage to get the Diva out of mech, quickly slices through, also finds the Anna here in Bucket, and then comes back onto the cart to help finish off the Winston. So another good push coming out from Bazooka Puppies. They're making this dive work, and Cranks just still keeps going.
The dude made like an entire circuit of the entirety of point B, found pretty much every single puffer. Like, Diva, I'll take that. Anna, I'll take that one. Widow next, thank you very, very much. Bazooka Puppies, Crank is really cranking it up now. Zapre has the EMP to contest this last point on point B, so it's going to be tough for him. Kib still 60%. It's not looking good for British Hurricane so far.
Lucio, the main target of that EMP, quickly eliminated too, but Kib, in the meantime, with Nesh, find both the supports for the side of Bazooka Puppies, so they have to be extremely careful if they still want a chance to win this. The nice thing is they get Happy Cool out of this fight. They do lose their Diva as well, so respawns in favor of the defense, probably going to force back Bazooka Puppies here. So close, and we know how difficult this spot is for an offensive team to try and get that little bit of final push if you don't complete it.
That's a really surprising that British Hurricane able to contest on that. Obviously, Nesh continued to smack around at targets in the front line, getting that Inspire passive going, which just about kept everyone alive, even though they were hacked. Obviously, Fusion's not able to jump around as much as he'd like, but now Kib, he's the one running with the EMP, and he's looking for this. Unfortunately, he has to go to the high ground, and they're not sure where they are going to go in from. Sab, again, looking for that nano boost as soon as possible. This nano blade has been effective before. It needs to be effective now.
There's nothing on the side of British Hurricane really to do with it other than maybe a hacker and EMP, and out comes that nano blade here. Crank's already finding one, slices through another with Zapri, and Fusion's though on the answer. He's using the nano boost on the Winston here to keep himself going. So they're still in this fight. The nano blade didn't quite get enough to completely seal it, but Zapri, with the help of the rest of his team, able to take out one. But Bucket and Lucio too, and Funny Astro, they're keeping this for British Hurricane, so they're able to turn the fight around anyway.
They've just stayed in so very long, and you got to hand it to Fusions there. He jumps into the front line with the nano boost on top of him, creates space for the backline, so when the nano blade does come out, it can only be the nano blade, so it's very easy to predict. Cranks hits the shield bash, out comes the sleep dart, and then it's just an easy clamp from there, right? British Hurricane, they're running with a Diva Bomb. Happy Cool's been pretty good on this before, and he's pretty good on his usual, but a lovely Diva Bomb on the side finds Fusions, start it off.
Huge one from Mete, diving onto that backline, trying to get the supports down, was the Winston as well. Happy Cool coming back in here. Oh, he gets hit by that EMP. His self-destruct won't be available here for a moment. They do have Sound Barrier too if they need it. Sound Barrier, though, going to come here from the side of British Hurricane to make sure that they can re-engage in this fight. But Mete getting Happy Cool out, and this Anna being caught all alone by the large health pack. Oh, Bakke was able to get the health pack and is staying alive in this fight. The only thing is the Sound Barrier is used by Cave, so they still might have the chance to win here. Fusions gets the nano boost onto him again on the Winston, and is just continuing to stay on this cart for as long as possible. EMP in the air might not be enough, though. Didn't seem to find too many targets. Kip doesn't manage to at least get the Diva out of mech, but you're starting to see that kill feed go red. Self-destruct, though, finds two. Finds Mete and Milky Man. No tanks left alive for Bazooka Puppies. This might be where it ends for them. They do get the Diva out of mech for Cranks, but Cranks one of the only ones left. And Sam, though, Sam going off on the Zenyatta. They get it.
Those orbs are absolutely dangerous. Nesh comes out, he wants to die as soon as possible, get a good respawn there. And this is the problem when you run Sombra Genji, is that the damage in the mid game is very mediocre, right? So with British Hurricane running these triple support, they have so much to stand on the point, and you see them just absolutely move them all the way into overtime because they just cannot close that fight down. British Hurricane, they make the switches out. They're running Diva and the Reinhardt now. Hurricane, they have the armor on top. They want to make a quick stop to this first push, but Zapri again, Lebosco has the EMP.
EMP could be the difference maker here, looking from above for the
Nesh.
Fusion's out. Self-destruct doesn't find anything, but like you said, Nesh going down here, that might be disaster. The charge too to get Funny Astro. That's going to allow them to push this cart around that corner. They still have a long stretch to go though, Blank, so there is going to be a chance for a re-engage from Hurricane.
Great decision from Zapri to hold on to that EMP, though, in such close quarters. Last point C. This is going to be a huge EMP should it come out, and there'll be so much to combo with it.
Uses the EMP. I don't know if he got as many targets as he'd like, but it doesn't matter. He got the Reinhardt. That's the important one. Transcendence coming out here onto the card. Countering Transcendence coming out later, though, for Sab. Crank's able to find Nesh again, just owning that matchup, and Milky Man just swinging away on the card and able to cleave his way through and clear it out, and they do complete it before overtime. One of the key things about that play.
That is impressive from them. Funny Astro, 99%, just about gets a sound barrier, then dies straight afterwards. So not able to get that additional healing, additional shielding out. Happy Cool, not kept up in that fight either. 4.7 seconds remaining, Lebosco. Damn. I mean, British Hurricane did such a great job on B, right, holding him for so long. I love this sustain comp they're playing. British Hurricane, they have a real good tap on when they need to go forward, when they need to pressure their front line, and when they need to help their back line. Bazooka Puppies, they seem to be a little bit split up in that regard. Not sure when to throw in the nano blade, not sure when it's the right time. Just they press the big green button, don't they, Lebosco? Cranks goes in, and then they try to work something from there.
Sab switching to that Zenyatta, though, felt like a really big thing. I mean, especially we saw him basically help get that first point, sorry, to get them to push towards the second point. So that to me I thought was crazy, and then just was able to use the Transcendence later and do all of those things. For British Hurricane, though, you're still in a great spot, right? I mean, 4.7 seconds, you can get a much larger time bank than that on this map.
Oh, absolutely. Streets phase can go away in a blink of the eye. It was a very, very long haul for British Hurricane there. Now, Bazooka Puppies are going to run an Orisa on the high ground with the Junkrat. Again, main win condition here is get the Junkrat towards his Riptide as soon as possible and give time for Zapray to get that first EMP, and then you can start to cycle ultimates from there. British Hurricane, they want to clean this up nice and quickly. They're running the Moira for that additional healing on top. Sam, just throwing those orbs into the camera. I'm terrified. I know British Hurricane were terrified after point B. But yeah, British Hurricane, they're going to want to jump in and want to jump in quickly. They've got the additional help from the Brigitte. They need to shut down this backline because that's where they want to hold. Mete, however, he needs to be absolutely efficient on this Diva. He needs to split up British Hurricane as soon as possible.
The one thing to think about here for British Hurricane's side is, yeah, sure, there's a Junkrat there, but you can avoid the spam, and when you're a mobile comp, that's a little bit easier. So this could be something that could be very difficult for Bazooka Puppies. Either way, Kib right now just throwing out his shurikens towards his target right now, which is the Diva and Mete at the moment. Dive now starting to come back in. That jump didn't quite get to the spot that they maybe wanted it to for fusions. He does kind of hit where that pillar is, or maybe that was the plan, because now they're on to Milky Man down on the low ground. Happy Cool just swinging with the left clicks here, does manage to get a stun in as well, but Cranks finds Bucket at the start, and that Moira out of here might be enough for the British Hurricane to have to reconvene. They're just going to continue in here, maybe just build up a little bit of charge. Kib, though, I don't know if he's going to be able to get out here. He's kind of in a bad spot. If they start to focus him, he might die, but he does have the dash available, will get out, so they don't stagger as much as they could have for Bazooka Puppies.
It's a bit weird rotation from Bazooka Puppies up there. I don't know how many times they've used this composition in scrims, but usually you won't want Milky Man to drop down first, but Kib finding Cave, that's huge. That's going to remove it out of the way, so his Dragon Blade is going to be largely uncontested.
74% to it for Kib as well. They do get the first tick onto the point for Hurricane. Milky Man so close to going down. EMP does come out in response, though. Mete able to find fusions in the meantime with the help of it. Bucket falling as well, and the Transcendence keeps everyone alive on the point, so Hurricane have to regroup again. But they do manage to at least get one tick in the meantime. And I mean, the Zen just making the presence be felt again there, finding half equal at the end for the stagger.
Always, always. Nesh still on point for the time being. Coming to that EMP, they will have the hack and slash available. Haficool will have the rally, so they're going to give additional armor to the front line. Bazooka Puppies, the way they ran it last time, they were so slow to get on, and that's when they were losing time, losing objective. When they started to make things go fast, like things are going to go now, that's when they started to take the point.
And Kib able to find one. Oh, but the self-destruct got two. So maybe a chance, although the supercharger used here, probably not going to be enough here. Although there is still, it was even for a second. Not enough now. Kib with that dash is going to make sure that they win this because there's still him and the Lucio, and they do have the close response. Happy Cool to make sure he gets back quick. Although there is the, oh, they get the tire. Nesh able to get the tire with the help of the Wrecking Ball. That was big. Coalescence back here, so we're going to get another fight on this point, but Hurricane so close to just getting it out. Nesh taking out the main tank, and Winston here. Fusions does have the Primal Ray, jumps up into the air, not using it yet. Bubble down on the point. They have some armor to work through because of the rally as well. Fusions Primal Raging now, pushes the Diva into a corner. Oh, that baby Diva, no chance, and Hurricane finally completed with 340. All that's left on the clock is the only thing playing.
Still a pretty successful haul coming out from Bazooka Puppies there. Even towards that last defense, they forced out so many ultimates from the British Hurricane. They will have some more coming up on top. Bucket no longer has the Nano boost at the moment because he just switched off. Funny Astro will have this Lucio sound barrier, and with nothing for Bazooka Puppies to combo in like a Graviton, they can use this aggressively here to take the first part of point B on streets.
And Sab is about to have the Transcendence here, so when Kib does get the Dragon Blade, they do have a defensive ultimate to try and contest it as well. So obviously there's some more ults that we have to be paying attention to, like the EMP that goes off right now. Fusions, though, find Sab in the meantime. Bucket and Fusions just doing everything here for the side of British Hurricane. Kib doesn't really care that he's gotten hacked and EMP'd because his team has won this fight and should start this cart moving again.
Absolutely. Fusions and Happy Cool, little to no charge, they still come out big. Bucket, his positioning so far has been absolutely amazing. I love the way he positions, and he forced Bazooka Puppies into awkward situations where they have to dive him, but he's already got all the support he needs, and he has an easy escaper at all times. Cranks is looking for these shots at the moment. He does have eyes on with the imprecise for the time being. Now British Hurricane, like I was saying, the sound barrier used aggressively.
Yeah, Fusions was taken low, but it didn't matter, though, because of the sound barrier. And Kim now with this blade finds two, looking for a third in the Widowmaker. Hasn't found it yet, but it doesn't matter. He uses the shurikens to find it after the blade ends, and now is dashing into Mete, who is now extremely close to being taken down. Oh, the Primal Rage, though, will save the Diva Mech for the moment, though. That's actually a big thing, though, Blank.
A hero play keeps the Diva mech alive for the time being. Not all that far towards the mech to the D mech, but a massive anti-grenade is going to shut down this on point C.
Bucket is amazing with those because not only did he hit them, but he hit players on his own team. And now Fusions will say, I'll take that mech away from you, Mete, as they complete this. 3 minutes on the clock, but this is the hardest point to push as far as the payload goes here is the one thing, though.
Yeah, I'm interested to see that Fusions won't. He's going to go straight onto the Reinhardt. They need that. I mean, there is high ground to contest here, but you need that shield in the front lines to get around this last corner where there's little to no cover when you are pushing the payload itself, which they were relying on a lot. Out comes the EMP from Nash, Happy cool, the Diva Bomb, but nothing comes from it.
They still manage to find kills off of it, though, anyways, and they're going to keep this cart moving forward. Only thing is they used a lot of ultimates is the one thing, Blank, and Bazooka Puppies will have that EMP in this next fight.
Now, they are switching over to this GOATS composition here with the Zen to help crush the front line of Milky Man and Mete. So it's a nice transition from there because they pop in the self-destruct, they pop in the EMP, and Nash is just nice and easy to switch off, and they won that first fight.
Well, now Zapri looking for the moment to use that EMP, finds it, and oh, he get a couple. They do not get the Lucio, who's able to use the sound barrier. Hack coming out towards the front line. Zapri has to get away, though. He does allow for Mete to get that kill onto the Reinhardt is the one good thing here. Mete finding Funny Astro as well. That's enough for British Hurricane to say, let's back up. We want to try and win this clean so we can have a bigger time bank.
Maybe a bit of miscommunication there from British Hurricane. Funny Astro, sure, he gets the sound barrier off, but it's not going to save your team in that situation after you're already a player down. But now looking reinvigorated, they're coming back in. They do spy check the Sombra, so there will no hack onto the Rhino for the time being. But Bazooka Puppy's so very aggressive here on top of the rally.
They do have a Transcendence, and then you have a Trans on the side for Bucket as well. And the last time these two had a fight, it was whoever popped it last ended up winning. That's usually the case. Fusions, though, takes out Milky Man and then finds another, continues to cleave forward, so Sab never used it, and that ends up costing all the charge. It didn't, I don't think he got it, but it didn't matter because he forced them into spawn. They're so close here with 1:05 left to go.
And this is the strange things that British Hurricane do that you can't quite respond to. Using the Transcendence so aggressively there when you know that there is a Graviton coming out afterwards, like right here. But Freaky!
What a huge self-destruct. Nash now here trying to take out the Trans. Sound barrier has to be used. 3 players left alive for Bazooka Puppies. desperately trying to keep this one. They do get it at least under a minute. Graviton surge here to try and pull them away. Cave on this Lucio. Earth Shatter comes out. It does it half equal out. EMP used on here. It looks like Bazooka Puppies might be able to turn this around. They get the kills. They're going to be able to. Only 28 seconds left to go.
27 seconds now, like you say, Labosco. British Hurricane, they're going to have a tough time. They don't have many ultimates. Nash was so high charged, they did make his way 50% towards his next Graviton in that fight. But both teams, it's just going to be neck and neck here. Mechanical skill versus mechanical skill. Which Zenya gets the Transcendence first? I know that Bucket wants to use it aggressively, but so far they have the advantage with Zapre with the hack onto Fusions. Does he get it off? A lovely projected barrier will keep Fusions alive for the time being.
Yeah, the huge sound barrier, and they're able to get the main take in Milky Man as well, but they do get Happy Cool out of mech, so there's still maybe a chance here for the side of British Hurricane. Graviton surge here, pulls in a few. Sab able to keep everybody alive, it looks like, for the most part, but now the kills start to come in. Earth Shatter here to get the last few left. Overtime meter is gone. Doesn't matter, though. Nobody's going to get back in time because they eliminate Milky Man before he can even get his charge off. We're going to a second round here regardless. Slightly bigger time for Bazooka Puppies, but it's kind of, it doesn't really matter at this point when it's 4 seconds.
1 minute to 1 minute, boy. It's a big time bank there. That's now 4 seconds. Absolutely crucial there, Labosco. What an impressive finish though on point C. Nesh, I think he had 2 Gravitons within the space of like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
The man is insane. And some amazing projected barriers so far, keeping Fusions up and alive. Fusions, the main tank, is always creating space for his team, and so far I feel like Milky Man has been dying quite early in a lot of these fights, and from that, Bazooka Puppies, they lose this ability to take space as well. But now we're down to 1 minute. it's just going to be all down to execution now, Labasco.
Something that British Hurricane is really good, and we saw this yesterday, Blank, was that they can punish a Reinhardt so well in those sort of 3-3 comp matchups like that. We saw them just stun a very good Reinhardt on Shu's Money Crew and just continually earth shatter afterwards. And I mean, they didn't do that here, but they still were eliminating Milky Man so fast where he wasn't ineffective. How do you battle that, though, if you're Bazooka Puppies?
Well, I mean, at the moment, really what's going to happen is Milky Man's going to have to start to trust his off-tank a lot more. So far, the rotation here on Orisa was so early on the first time round. He just drops down, but really you want to wait for Mete to drop down first and then use the boosters to get back out, and then Milky Man goes. So I feel like Milky Man's a little bit overzealous at the moment. Now, this dive has to be quick, Labasco. So far, they've been slowed down so much the first time they tried it. They need this to be quick. They need it to be quick.
Yeah, they didn't win until they got ultimates, and they don't have the luxury of waiting for ultimates this time for Hurricane. And Sam gets fusions at the start, but Kib comes in and dashes through Sab, so you have 5v5 still here for both sides. Controlling the point right now, too, is Bazooka Puppies, and they find Milky Man here, and Mete's going to go out of mech. So this looks like a win for Hurricane here at dive work this time, Blank. You do have some players still left alive, though, to recontest here. It looks like, and they're starting to turn this around for the side of Bazooka Puppies. Crank's still dealing damage out from up top, but now they're going to give it up because nobody got on the point. So they lost those last few players. British Hurricane did what they needed against Bazooka Puppies.
Mete is a really good off tank. I'm not gonna lie, I really love the way he plays. He does stop fusions from doing things that he likes with a quick booster boot backwards, but that fight just went straight in the favor of Hafi Cool. Just played so well on the Diva. His positioning is phenomenal. Out comes the micro missiles, just adding that extra burst in. Now we're gonna have the coalescence, we're gonna have the EMP. Really, it's going to be who EMPs first. It's like two gunslingers waiting to pull the trigger on each other in a Mexican standoff.
Cranks is switched over to this Widowmaker too, so a headshot from a Widowmaker can really change things. But Mete's saying, I don't care about Widows right now or any of that because I'm finding two and a mech. EMP finally comes out, but it seems like it's probably doesn't matter at that point for the side of British Hurricane. They find their push end after that first take of the cart, but they do push the cart at least a little bit, Blank. And when you only have a minute on the clock, that could be enough.
Like I said, Mete is such an impressive off-tank at the moment. I really like his Diva play. He seems to have it down to pat. There are so many little tiny things that he does here and there, where it's positioning, whether it's preventing main tanks from taking space or taking position. It's just lovely to see. But like you say, Labasco, British Hurricane, they do make it a fair way through on this street space. And if it's anything before, like we saw on the first time the Bazooka Puppies tried to push in, if British Hurricane can just slow them down a little bit like that, they can have a really, really tough time.
Zapri's showing us Bastion, Blank, but I don't think we're going to see Bastion. We've seen enough Bastion today. We saw it last game. I don't think we're going to see it again.
Am I Arira's robotic head? You don't know. You don't know. It might be a new secret strat that they're bringing out to really surprise British Hurricane here. But yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it happening. Is that pretty still good on it though? We're probably going to do the Sombra. Yeah. So we have the Sombra Doomfist. This is going to be more of really, really make your tanks have a bad day on the side of British Hurricane. So far, Hafi Cool and Fusions, they've been the backbone of British Hurricane. Kib is very good at following up, but without those tanks, they do lose this ability to play as a team because they are such a team orientated like basically coalesced bunch of heroes. Yeah, I tried to say team in a different way. I really struggled.
It's okay. You can use the same word a couple times. I think it's acceptable as long as you don't say team for everything. You're all right. But right now, the team of Bazooka Puppies going for the long flank here, and they're going to find fusions in the meantime as they now make their way around into the cafe. They will take the high ground now, which forces the rest of British Hurricane to go back and switch places basically with them. Oh, they had that Diva mech so close. They do get it too, so they're going to be able to win this point pretty quickly here. Oh, but a big anti-nade if they follow up on it, but they're not going to be able to. They don't have the numbers. That's still Bucket with that nade. That was still amazing. Oh, EMP coming out here, though. That might be enough to save it for British Hurricane is the only thing, so they didn't give up on this fight. Another big anti-nade from Bucket. Bucket is the hero here along with Nesh.
Oh, Well, they don't call Anna a combat sniper for no reason. I mean, Labasco, out comes the Nana boost. Keep this one going for a little bit longer. The overtime is ticking down. They won't take it. Bucket, the hero of the Hurricane.
Amazing finish to that one. I mean, those two anti-nades, sure, they didn't get the eliminations on the first one, but you saw Bazooka Puppies they were kind of stuck. They couldn't aggressively go after anyone, right? So, like, I mean, how big... I'm at a loss for words by it because it's just awesome. Like
Yeah.
to be able to do that so well with those nades.
100%. He uses them so aggressively, but you got to have such trust in your tank line to be able to follow up on that, because those nades lose a lot of value if you don't find the kills off them. So if you trust Kib, you trust Fusions, you trust Half-Equal to follow up on that with good positioning and good mechanical skill, that's where Bucket can really start to shine on this Anna. Wow, it's really impressive. I mean, the guy's been doing time in the trenches. That's absolutely for sure.
Yeah. We don't have a desk here, so we'll keep it here for just a little bit longer. Blank Bazooka Puppies here. They're still keeping this close, though. That's the one thing I think to point out here as we've reached sort of the halfway point is, yeah, it's 2-0 British Hurricane, but it's not been an easy 2-0 for the team that's probably the best team in Contenders that you could say, either them or we have Orc. They haven't played each other yet, so we don't know. But I mean, Hurricane dealing with the blows that Bazooka Puppies, who is a team that's almost essentially playing for their Contenders' lives to in this game.
Oh, 100%. And I mean, it's tough here because Bazooka Puppies is a lot on the line from, which is why it is so close, because they're playing their absolute hearts out now. But they're barking at Hurricane, and I don't know how much use that actually does do in the end of it. And so far, the Hurricane seems to be winning.
What do you feel is like the biggest change for Bazooka Puppies that they need to do? Like, what's been hurting them the most, in your opinion?
I think the lack of coordination in the dives has been really, really tough. They're quite split, and so far it's nice and easy when you jump against a team and they're all in one singular position and then they try and fend you off. So far, British Hurricane do these things you just can't respond to. Aggressive transcendences, gravitons within like 30 seconds, Half-Equal just popping off, and I mean, you have to work around these when you play against these huge teams, and the splitting of attention for Bazooka Puppies seems to be a real problem for them. Like, do they go help out their front line, or do they send the nano blade into the back? And these decisions in the split moments, Hurricane makes them so quickly. Bazooka Puppies, they have to make a little more time for them to really decide on one singular answer. And I think once they come to this more of a hive mind approach of making the decision quickly and effectively, that's when we'll start to see them shine a little bit more. Because I have no doubt that all these players, their individual talent is ridiculous. Mete, we saw him play so well, pushing Fusions into the back room with the mini. Wow, what a play. But yeah, they're just struggling. They're struggling.
Well, they will have at least a moment to catch their breath here, which is something we're going to do as well. We'll take a timeout, and when we come back, we'll have map number 3 here for you of Bazooka Puppies versus British Hurricane. Back here on Broadcast.gg, Labasco and Blank here with you. It's 2-0 right now. British Hurricane over Bazooka Puppies. So we're heading now to map number 3, which is Hanamura Blank. And, you know, when you talk about Hanamura, there's a bunch of different options for the first point. I mean, we've seen a Bastion, we've seen Symmetra today, we've seen a bunch of craziness, but looks like we're going to get a little more standard here from both. Well, yeah, Sab's just playing around with us, but we're going to have Doomfists and Sombras, it looks like, or at least on one side, and then Sombra and Genji for Bazooka Puppies.
Yeah, Bazooka Puppies attacking first. They're going to have the Sombra, like you're saying. The Genji is probably going to play passively a little bit. You lose a little bit of time bank if you're working towards this Dragon Blade. But there are so many options for Bazooka Puppies right now. Kib, however, on the Doomfist, really going to be aggravating Milky Man on the Winston. And I think they're going to take advantage of the fact that maybe sometimes Milky Man isn't in the best of positions.
Kib right now just kind of waiting, and Milky Man
I
finds
say
Mesh
that.
in the meantime. I think Milky Man heard you. He does get
It's like, no.
He almost fell because of an anti-nade. He's able to be kept alive by his team, though. They do still have the Sombra out of this fight, but they still haven't been able to make too much headway other than that. Happy Cool ending up out of mech, though, could be the final nail in the coffin to give up this first point for the side of British Hurricane, as now you're starting to see the dive come in, but Kib able to get one with the rocket punch. Slap on the Cranks is huge, though, but now comes in the nano boost on the Winston, and you're able to find one still with the Zapri, but Zapri does fall, but it's not going to matter, it looks like, because all they have is the Transcendence on the Zenyatta. Cranks, though, is getting so close to falling, though. They got to keep him alive. EMP comes out. They're still in this fight for Hurricane. What is this? Milky Man can't do anything. He does have the primal up. EMP does end for him, and now he's just going to punish this Zenyatta in the corner. Self-destruct thrown into that room. There's actually nobody there. Kib is the rocket punch. He has not died yet and is still in this fight, keeping the Hurricane in it. Cranks now has the blade. He might have to use it just to get this point. Kib's right in front of him. He's actually going to have to dodge away because it's just him and a Winston left alive here. Kib was sort of the hero, but just by staying alive. And now they're going to find Cave. I don't know why he was still there.
This is the most amazing contest I've ever seen. Kib, you absolute monster. He's going to have a Diva Bomb coming up as well as, but Fusion going down. That's the main tank. This might be sending a spell to Bazooka Puppies. Indefinite hold here.
They got off the point. Like, they could have already had it capped. I don't know what's going on because that fight, like, it went back and forth. Now, it seemed like it was just respawns that won that for them, Blank, for Bazooka Puppies. But the only problem is Hurricane used, like, all their ultimates. This could be a snowball.
Absolutely. Happy Cool does have the Diva Bomb coming up, but Zapray is ready and waiting with the EMP, but already Fusion's in the backlines. Crank, he cannot use the Dragon Blade because he's been pressured onto Kib, but he does get the fist in the face.
No ultimates, no problem, apparently, for the side of British Hurricane. Milky Man not trying to get caught out. He's so low. Oh, the Anna's going to save him just at the end, so no stagger, but still. Wow. They lost a fight that they had the ultimate economy advantage massively.
What a fight, though. What a fight. So, to be fair, this next fight is looking pretty dangerous with the Nano Blade and the EMP on top of. British Hurricane, however, they have some ultimates to deny it with. We're going to have the Transcendence coming up with, but it's all down to that reaction time from Broadcast, where he's positioning to see if he can come up with the Transcendence to basically put an end to that Nano Blade when it does come out. Fusion's always holding forward, always holding well.
They do lose their Sombra here at the start is the only thing. So Nanoblade finding one target, slashing into that primal waging Winston, but that's a lot to try and deal with. And Fusions gets a nano boost at the end anyways. Kim finds Sab as well in the backline. Meteor Strike looking for more. He's looking above. It's not going to get anything there, but it doesn't matter. His team's cleaning everything else. Him and Nesh combining for these kills, and they're kept alive so well by Funny Astro.
That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. No, but British Hurricane, you got to give them credit for the way they positioned that. They knew they had the Nano Blade. They read that ultimate so well, and they all positioned so sparsely. You can't make a quick decision for Cranks to find a target to. So now Bazooka Puppies, they opt to go for Zapray on the McCree and more of a defensive combo with the supports. You've got Zenyatta. Sab is still playing that classic as per usual. Cranks is now on this Brigitte. Forgot her name for a second there, but I still said it right.
Yeah, Brigitte is a hero that can really deal with some of those tanks diving in. Nesh, though, hiding behind right now with the EMP, just waiting for a moment to use it. I don't know if they got anything more than just the Diva. Might have found a few others. Oh, it did get everybody. It looked like he was still inside the room, so I couldn't tell. So the EMP works to the exact way you want it. They're just going to let Mete sleep on the point, eventually taking out this baby Diva. This is such a huge stagger.
There's no napping in the temple. That's not allowed. He's desperately trying to get across, but the big target with the Diva mech is not going to let him through. Massive stall there. Bazooka Puppy sent back to spawn and just basically tapping on the watches like, Mete, when you get in here, come on, get off the map. We need you back as soon as possible. British Hurricane again. They've got the nano boost, Labosco, as per usual. But Funny Astro, he doesn't mind. He doesn't mind. And Fusions is going to have the primal rage as well as.
By the way, Kib is on the Widowmaker now too, and has been dealing, and not really being able to be contested is the big thing. So we'll see if that stays true here as they make their push up onto the high ground. They do force off Bazooka. Bazooka Puppies force off British Hurricane at the very least. They're going to come down the stairs now, wrapping around. Now Fusions comes in, gets the nano boost onto him. In response, they use the sound barrier, self-destruct, forces Fusions to jump away. He has to use the Primal Rage. He wasn't sure he was going to live. He's so close to falling, jumping up onto the high ground now just to try and stay alive. They force him away here. Transcendence, though, will keep Fusions up in this fight. So nobody falling yet for British Hurricane, but they've had to use so many ultimates here, and now just kind of just making sure they stay grouped together as Bazooka Puppies. Out comes the EMP from Nesh, and that'll be all they need to win this fight. So they force out a lot of ultimates. It's the one good thing for Bazooka Puppies.
100%. With British Hurricane, they have such mobility in this team. They're able to just run circles around Bazooka Puppies. Sure, you might have the better positioning on the backside, but we can just cycle players in and out. And with the huge healing coming out from the Ana, obviously, as we throw Happy Cool in, the solar healing onto him is going to be huge. And then Fusion comes in, we cycle out with the mobility. Slowly but surely, Nesh is going to find an EMP in that fight and then just shut down this very, very immobile comp that Bazooka Puppies is playing.
Oh, and Sab almost falling there at the beginning would have been disastrous, too. Or if he used the trans, which is something he could have done. They're able to keep him alive, though, is the good thing. So they still have those ultimates available for this fight. Kib finding a big pick here, though, could make one of the big differences. Now going to start poking his head out, looking for somebody there. Oh, good use of the shield, though, to make sure that shot doesn't get through. They use the rally here and start to come in. But going away from everybody was Cranks. Now starts to get back towards the team. Transcendence has to be committed, though, because of that. Nesh finds Milky Man in the meantime, and another big anti-nade, too. And Zapri holding on to this Deadeye, but finds nothing. So just caught in this back area with not much to do right now is Bazooka Puppy. So now it's just British Hurricane going in when they can, but they're able to find a couple of picks, though, is the side of Bazooka Puppies. But it looks like it's not going to matter. They're taking too long to finish this. Oh, they find Kim.
Oh, stop!
What a good one from Sap, but it's Transcendence coming out here to stall on the point from Bucket. That could maybe be enough for these respawns to maybe get back in here because you don't have full numbers on the side for Bazooka Puppies. Big anti-nade, but you do have the self-destruct from Happy Cool finds two. Huge one, and Happy Cool with a third after the self-destruct. They're going to stabilize for Hurricane.
Oh, what's that? He tried to get around the corner, and of all people to body block him, it's Funny Astro. Goes down to about 1 HP. Zapre's desperately firing the 6-shooter into his belly, but like, she's not going anywhere. She's happy to stay still. Not gonna get on the point. What a pile driver! Mayday, where are you going?
Incredible stop there. Bazooka Puppies only taking that first point. They had a pretty big time bank to try and take second, but British Hurricane hold on here. Their defensive switches, their ability to just kind of work around with their comp, like you were saying, Blake, was amazing.
And it was pretty well played from Bazooka Puppies, I must admit, because Zapre understands the Primal Rage is there to hold on, so they can cycle Happy Cool and they can cycle Fusions out. Unfortunately, the Deadeye keeps Fusions on the stairs with the Primal Rage, so Happy Cool has to stay in a little bit longer than he might have liked and ends up going down to the burst that Bazooka Puppies can invest. Then Fusion comes in, managed to stay alive for a little bit longer, but the fact that this guy just does not die, he's just like an annoying Winston all the time, like dropping on the high ground, dropping back down again. They're like, can we please just kill you just once, please?
Well, 53 seconds left here to think about what you want to do as Bazooka Puppies. British Hurricane all but assured a spot, but the win on this map seals the deal for them regardless. Doesn't matter what happens the rest of the way with any of the other teams that might play or what they do. So their fate's still in their own hands here, and they can stamp their ticket into Contenders Europe with the win on this map. They're going to decide to go with that Sombra Genji comp as well for their attack here, so similar to what Bazooka Puppies did.
British Hurricane, wow, played really well so far. Kiv, definitely been this really, really strong, reliable player. British Hurricane can just use and rely on in most of these fights. The fact that we were talking about respawns as well, Labosco, and yeah, sure, the respawns were there for British Hurricane, but the reason they were able to get back onto point is because Kib is just not dying. He's just like over here and then he's over there. Now, it will be British Hurricane on attack, so let's see what they can do. There is still potential for Bazooka Puppies to hold them here, but so far it looks like Kib's getting ready to sign the contracts.
We do know that it's super difficult to do a full hold on this first point. Hanamura is the biggest thing. Getting some scouting out right now is the Hurricane, looking for where they want to. He went right into the tree right there in front, so he's going to have to wait for his dash to reset here before he's going to be able to try and get up in there. So that's going to actually just force them to go through this main choke here to try and win this fight. And Cranks is going to find Bucket, though, at the beginning. So Kib gets the Sombra forced away at the very least. They're still inside, but they're probably going to regroup, having to wait for that main healer.
Tree, my most formidable nemesis. Not able to get over the top line because the leaves are just a little bit in the way. They go through the choke, and Bazooka Puppies, they take advantage of it. Mede taking a little bit of damage. Carve is quite happy to heal that up. So far, Bazooka Puppies, they've been taking damage across the board, though, so British Hurricane can't quite decide on the target yet. But the way Kib is playing quite passively, it looks like he is just trying to get this Dragon Blade as quickly as possible.
Nano Boost is going to be the first ultimate up here, though. Cave going to have that. See when he decides to pop it. Getting the blade is close, but Bucket, though, because he got taken out so early, only at 55%, and they're going to commit that in right now. So jumping in towards the back line is Milky Man. With the help of his Genji, he finds Bucket again. So Bucket being abused here and is now only at 66%. Sure, they get the kill there, but there's still nobody left up front to try and win this fight. Half Equal's going to come back in. Oh, they're going to commit the EMP here. Hurricane wants to take this point. Dashing in his Kib. He does have his blade up. Sap able to find Nash as well. So they're able to build up onto this point. First tick taken here. Maybe going to have a chance to recontest here, though, for the side of Bazooka Puppies. They start to come in, have their diva out in front. Half Equal, who's on the point, and he quickly loses his mech. The Ana not able to get those shots on, and the nade comes in to finish that off. Kib going to back away, has been holding onto this blade here for a little bit. Only problem is they've been holding on to stuff. Well, guess what? Bazooka Puppies have 5 ults.
They've just been building and building them up. There's some quite crazy decision making coming out from British Hurricane. So your backline gets dove by a nano boosted monkey, and immediately British Hurricane, they invest all of it into the front line, diving frontline targets. Sap finds Funny Astro, and we're already down to 1 minute 30 here, Lebosco. Almost half the time, or half and a bit of the time bank removed. Only 1 minute remaining. Out comes the EMP. Maybe overzealous, however, Bazooka Puppies.
Self-destruct here right at the choke. Doesn't find anything. Half Equal able to take out Zapri, though, after that EMP. Oh, the sleep on the Cranks! Cranks gets slept! He had the nano boost, but he goes down here to Funny Astro. That's British Hurricane now pressing the W button onto the point. They're storming in. They still haven't used their blade at all. So going to be able to hold on to it is Kib here, as they're going to have that now to try and take it, as they're going to get this first point after they take out this last few stragglers here in the Ana and Sombra.
Bucket is one of these players that have just really melded into the new meta at the moment. Playing the Ana just seems like such an ease for me, and Bucket Overwatch League when right. Bazooka Puppies, they've just had such a hard time. Even the most formidable of combos like the Nano Blade just been shut down by this guy over and over again. Now they have the Nano Blade. Out he goes, dropped onto him, Blade comes out.
He does get hacked, though. That's the one good thing here for the side of Bazooka Puppies, but Funny Astro, 2 already in this one. Fusion's forcing back the Ana into spawn. They're already halfway there, just a few percentage points away of sealing their ticket into Contenders, as Nesh able to find Cranks coming back in on the Doomfist nade, though onto the Winston, get him out of the picture, but it's not enough. You have the nano, the sound barrier in here, and just the Primal Raging Winston push back, and British Hurricane seal that they are going to Contenders Europe once again as they win this 3-0. Of course, we have one more map blank, but getting that and figuring out that they know for sure they're going to Contenders is the biggest thing they wanted to get accomplished here.
Now, I know that Nuki was at the Gilded Gala yesterday, and she said that she was going to go back and relax today, but after winning that so convincingly, I bet she's watching this now and just been like, yes, it was all worth it in the end. So congrats to her and her team. Well played in Albion. Man, the guy has done well by himself. He's raised this amazing team together. Bazooka Puppies, it's unfortunate for them. There is still one map that they can win here to hopefully hold on to some of the namesake of Bazooka Puppies, but it's looking more and more like a 4-0 right now. British Hurricane, they're just looking so strong, Lebosco, right?
And for map differential, they almost need the win, I think, on this last map, if they can at least do that, because things have sort of now are out of their hands for the most part. They've got to win out to even have a chance for their next couple of games. But for Bazooka Puppies, this is definitely going to be a tough tough road ahead for them. But British Hurricane, like we said, do seal the deal, but we do have one more map to play. We're going to take a timeout, and we're going to collect ourselves from that one because that was a crazy finish to that.
Yeah.
And we'll be back with the final map.
We've been planning a getaway from your house into outer space. Much further than you know. Higher up we go. No one knows we're so far away from home. No one knows we are further than you know.
Back here on Broadcast.gg, British Hurricane 3, Bazooka Puppies 0, but we still have one more map, even though we already have our winner, Blank, along with me, as I am Labosco.
I'm not the winner, but yeah,
You're not
I
the
am
winner?
here.
You are here. That's the important thing, though, is that you're here, as we are now going to Dorado as our fourth and final map. British Hurricane showing us that they might use a wrecking ball. They can kind of do whatever they want at this point because they can lose every map from here on out. They have sealed their ticket into Contenders, but I highly doubt that's what they want to do, Blank.
Maybe they have some fun. We just don't know. They're probably really happy right now, but they probably want to close this one out as a 4-0 versus the Bazooka Puppies, who will be on defense here. They'll be running dive with the Nano Blade. They got Kava's going over to the Mercy, and we got Cranks on the Genji as per usual. Now, Bazooka Puppies, they've been running this comp a lot, and I feel like they just don't have the damage during them like that middle phase of the fight, whereas British Hurricane, like their tank line really step up there, and then Kib just pops off. Like there are some good phasing to the way British Hurricane play out and roll out. Now they will be on attack here, so it's up to them to set the bar, set the standard. But over the top already, Fusions is in.
Bucket with that lob, Kobe right there throwing it in. The only problem is his tanks are falling is the only problem. But Fusions on this wrecking ball, they still have another. Yeah, that didn't work very well for them. So even though you get that great nade, that doesn't really matter. Didn't catch enough of the anti part of it. Just kept everybody alive as they were going in on that dive. Mete on top of the building here now, kind of looking down above as his team is still holding this cart from getting around that second quarter towards that first choke, and now backing up will be the side of Bazooka Puppies. As out comes the use of Milky Man on this nano boost here. Zapri falling, Kib as well. So going really well here, at least for the start for Bazooka Puppies. But again, Hurricane showing us something different here at the start. I mean, Kib on the Winston, I think, is enough for us to know that this is a little different.
Why don't we try that composition we tried in that script that one time? Then it didn't really work so well, but we'll do it here in Contenders Trials.
It's definitely not working now, as they are getting eliminated off of the back of the EMP from Zapri. So Milky Man with the Primal Rage, and now we'll see what British Hurricane decide to do if they're going to just keep pushing forward with this. They do have some ultimates to work with.
Do they just finish this now? They're just like, we go get pizza now. Let's just lose this quick. We go again. But I don't think so. British Hurricane so far, they have some ultimates right there. They've got the minefield. They've got the self-destruct on Happy Cool. Obviously, Happy Cool is playing his standard hero on the Diva. Out comes the Power Driver now, and quickly we have the Dragon Blade at the back. But Shield Bash.
Yeah, Shield Bash doesn't do enough, though, because there wasn't the follow-up damage to get through. The Nano Boost is the only problem. Happy Cool does manage to take out Cranks afterwards, but too many players on his team have fallen as he loses mech, and Happy Cool quickly eliminated by Milky Man. So Milky Man sort of being able to follow up on a lot of this damage done by his team, and ultimates for Hurricane not working at all, and still more ultimates coming up for Bazooka Puppies.
I mean, like, so Winston and Hammond, they kind of do the same exact thing in the terms of taking space, so you don't really gain too much by putting both on the same time. I'd much prefer to see a Hammond and a Diva here who can do different things, and then you have a more beneficial target. At the moment, it's just, I don't know what's going on here.
Well, they use their sound barrier in, and now things are starting to work for them as they take out both supports along with Zapri. So a lot of the damage gone here. Milky Man, one of the last few left alive, and now that cart starts to roll.
What? Why? Why are they doing this?
It's working.
I don't know. It's working, I guess, but like Bazooka
Took a little time, right?
Desperately like holding on, but yeah, it did take a few minutes and then stop the payload. I mean, Fusion bobs them all out the way. This composition.
It's odd. It's different. It's working.
It's quirky.
What's enabling this though the most? Do you think, Blank?
I mean, yeah. So I'm pretty sure it is Happy Cool because he's the one basically putting in the hard work at the moment. Nesh is in the back line, and you've got Bucket there dropping the discos. But yeah, it's definitely Happy Cool in the front line. He's creating pressure in the front and then also helping at the back. Whereas Fusions and Kib, they just keep throwing themselves, as you can see here.
Well, it's working, and that's all that matters. Self-destruct thrown in by Happy Cool did not get anybody. Transcendence out there as well up top to keep players alive for Bazooka Puppies. They are starting to turn this around. They do get Mete is able to help get Happy Cool out. Sab able to find Fusions. Cart's still moving, though, even though they've got a couple of those tanks out of the way. So British Hurricane now finally having to back up as they are kind of just in a bad spot now as they have to regroup.
Yeah, and it's 2 minutes remaining. It's not a huge time, but you see Fusions and Kib drop in, and then they've done the thing, right? They drop the leap, they drop the power drive, and they're like, well, now what? We need like a Diva and a Genji, but Diva's too busy helping out a backline, so it's just tough. It's tough.
Well, Happy Cool onto the Widowmaker now, so you're right.
Again.
Maybe I think they maybe are just enjoying this one here. But now it's like you said, it's working because they're still able to find the eliminations. Milky Man has to pop Primal Rage here to try and stall this out as long as possible.
It feels like that's gonna be like my line during this entire like Dorado match. Just it's working, I guess.
I mean, because Happy Cool has gone back to the it's gone back to the Diva now. He wasn't on the Widowmaker for very long. So Zapri now switches to the McCree here to try and help deal with some of this frontline pressure that's coming from these very mobile tanks. and it's starting to maybe work here. They're able to get Nesh on the Brigitte. Pile driver, though, coming in, displaces a lot of players once again. Zapri getting close to falling here, and finally does to Kib, who's on that Winston. Cranks, though, shield bashes in, and Mete able to get the wrecking ball, but Fusion still finds Cranks anyways because of his ultimate, and the card just continues to move with 2:23 left to go.
I just wonder why Bazooka Puppies don't switch over to Sombra Doomfist composition, and just like Doomfist destroys Hammond and also the Winston. You have the Sombra who just shuts down basically the Diva as well, as makes it just into an ultimate battery. So either Bazooka Puppies can't play, or Zapre just desperately wants to play the McCree. I mean, you saw him there, he found the bullet. There was only one more bullet in the round and he just dropped a right click. But again, it's working.
Zapri, though, now popping the Deadeye. He needs this to work huge for his team. He at least gets the Diva out of mech. But the rest of his team not able to do anything, and they're caught away from the card, which is still going. Card is so close, 3 meters too, and it might get completed here while we're looking at Zapri, and it is!
Again, first you have Funny Astro on the Anna, body blocking Zapri, and now it's the baby Diva. I mean, can things get much worse? I mean, it's not that hard to get around a small hero like that. She's so thin, come on. Oh dear, I mean, okay, it's working. British Hurricane pulling out something pretty interesting. They probably tried in a scrim one time, and it was like, Albion was like, yeah, maybe use it in trials. But Bazooka Puppies, they're just not seeming to respond to it all that well. I mean, Lebowski, I would have expected to see a Doomfist, a Sombra come out almost immediately, make the quick switch. So I don't know if Bazooka Puppies are indecisive, or they just can't play those heroes.
We've seen, I mean, we saw some Doomfist from them already before on some of the previous maps, or no, not Doomfist, but Sombra. So we know at least Zapri can play Sombra, right? So, and we really haven't seen too much of it, but I guess the biggest question here is this a team whose will has been shattered? Is maybe part of it as well for Bazooka Puppies, who have sort of seen their chances of getting back into contenders is slowly starting to be pulled away from them.
I mean, I feel sorry for Bazooka Puppies because there have been many good players, like I said. And I mentioned this on Hollywood because I think Hollywood's was probably one of the main maps where there was glimmers. There was glimmers of hope there, and since then, British Hurricane just shut them down on Hanamura, and I think things have just gone downhill from there. Obviously, you see Bazooka Puppies, he switches Zapre over to the Doomfist. Once again, Hurricane, they're playing the old throw the pile driver down, and everyone else jumps on top of it, and maybe something happens afterwards. We don't know. We just see what happens, comp. But yeah, Bazooka Puppies, at least they have this time at least acknowledge the comp that British Hurricane are playing.
They do have the Sombra. They go with Genji here as well. They've got that dive that they're going to try. Fusion's coming high into the air. Throws two up into the air, but Mete and Zapri able to take care of Half Equal at the start. So it looks like this card's going to get rolling here fairly quick. Bucket does find Cranks in the meantime. Doesn't really matter. Fusion's right now still rolling around here, but his team just falling around. So it doesn't really matter here. Kib on the re-engage quickly falls, and they're going to push this card pretty freely up through this first choke.
Well, they gained like 40 seconds though, right? Because now Funny Astros are going to blast everyone back to the point. Bazooka Puppies didn't really gain much, because if we hold at the point now where there is a choke, power driver, leap, and micro missiles, they're going to become even more effective, especially with Inspire and the shield bash. So they could afford to just hold really aggressively there. But a huge anti-nade in the back.
And Kib's able to find Milky Man. Zapri does get the Brigitte gone, so that's a little bit of support gone, but they're starting to turn this around here anyways. Mete able to be taken out as well. Cranks dashing in, at least finds himself one. Coming back in towards the front line where those tanks are just bullying right now for the side of British Hurricane, and he's dashing through, helping get the kill on the Kib, but they're losing too many players where it's not mattering. Sure, he's got himself a Dragon Blade, but he's in no position to do anything with it, and he was so close to falling himself.
You have no right to pull that Dragon Blade, son. You put that away immediately. Bazooka Puppies, I mean, they've got something to work with. They're going to have the EMP, they're going to have the Nano Blade, they're going to have the Sound Barrier. They pretty much have everything. They have this six-pack. Now, if you lose this fight, British Hurricane playing this weird composition, I'm not sure you make it into point B, basically.
And the mines will take out Cave as well. So Happy Cool gone might not matter, though. There's so much. You have to work so hard to get around those mines of the of the Wrecking Ball. I almost called him Hammond, but he's Wrecking Ball is what the right name is. Kib getting Zappery here and finding Cranks as well. So this fight going into a weird place, but it's working out. You're okay with this if you're the side of British Hurricane because they were so far away from the cart. Now they have to go all the way back. Your team might have been eliminated there, but you've caused them to take so much time just to even get back to cart.
I mean, this is just a form of like, it's just dive, I guess, mixed with supports and tanks, so...
It's a 3-3 comp. It's goats.
Goats?
It's a divey goats. I guess is a way that you can call it. Cranks here with the Nano Blade finds one, but he gets forced back by all these tanks, so it doesn't even matter. They do have somebody sneaking onto the back there, trying to push that cart, and Milky Man, but he's going to fall along with the rest of his team there, and Mete kind of just can all they can do is watch.
Yeah, there's so much mobility on this team, and Bazooka Puppies are really not doing anything in an attempt to shut that mobility down. Sombra, Doomfist, absolutely fine there, but Bazooka Puppies instead, they opt to go for something even more immobile. So they go goats, but this is heavy tank goats, and in comes Fusions, as per usual. Milky Man, he's blasted away from the team, Discord comes out, and yeah, he's done. 43 seconds, what can you do as Bazooka Puppies?
Sab at least got the Diva out of mech, but it doesn't really matter right now. 33 seconds left, and they're being forced back into spawn right now by this composition. They just don't seem to have an answer.
Yeah, they're absolutely being forced into the spawn for the time being. Bazooka Puppies, come on, what's going on? British Hurricane, you've got the rally going as well. There's going to be so much armor to eat through. Bok is going to have this Transcenders. Fusion is just absolutely ready to drop the pile driver in and nail this final coffin in.
Self-destruct thrown in the air here just to create a little bit of space, but the self-destruct on the other side is better for Happy Cool, and Bucket takes out his counterpart in Sab. I don't think anybody's getting to cart, and they don't. 4-0 British Hurricane here against Bazooka Puppies.
Well, in this case, when not in doubt, dotes it out, I guess. It worked. It worked, guys. Man, well, I don't know what else to say.
We know that Wrecking Ball has sort of been this character that's still sort of getting experimented for, but this is a comp where it seemed to be enabled really well with the other two tanks that could keep up with him. I mean, Blank, that's actually a comp that seems like it has some things that can work and work really well.
It's got a lot of moving components, quite literally a lot of moving components on it. Unfortunately, with the right composition, it's quite easily shut down and quite easily shut down quickly. Where they held it, right? Yeah, exactly. And where they held them so close to spawn, you would have thought it'd be like ding, ding, ding. Maybe we should switch, but the switch didn't come out. Bazooka Puppies decided to stick with their guns. And in the end, the bazookas just weren't really the guns that they wanted. It just didn't have the explosive effect they wanted, and the Hurricane a little bit more destructive in this case.
Yeah, moving to 5-0, British Hurricane, like we said earlier, sealed their fate. They're into Contenders. There's no way for them to be kicked out now. Mathematically, they are in, and you can't stop them from being in Contenders. So good, congrats to British Hurricane for that one. For Bazooka Puppies, excuse me, this gets a lot harder for them moving forward is the big thing here. So for the side of Bazooka Puppies, really quickly, I mean, there was some bright spots, like you said. One of the maps in particular that you were highlighting just a moment ago was Hollywood. What's that next little step, though, that can really push them over the edge and maybe get them to still spot into Contenders?
It's the quick decision making. Like I said it on Hollywood, and I'm going to say it again, is that some teams, as good as they are, if they can't make the decisions quickly, can't make the switches quickly, can't decide on a single plan, and then you're doomed to fail. At this point, British Hurricane, they're so clean. They are so clean. Everything they do looks like it has an immediate pressure behind it. Like we saw the nano boost coming to the back. Literally about 0.5 seconds later, Happy Cool and Fusions were diving onto their DPS line. Like, that kind of decision making does not come overnight. This is something that's been honed over time, and it's really quite impressive. And it's insane. So I've got to give it to Mete, though. Mete, really impressive diva. Like,
yeah.
If anyone's looking at him for the next team, like looking for a team, just pick up Mete. The dude's insane.
Yeah. Mete was really good. There was a couple of other good things that did happen for Bazooka Puppy at times. I thought Sab was pretty good too.
Yeah.
As that off support as well. He did get taken out a few times though. I mean, but still young player. A lot of young players still on this Bazooka Puppies teams. They've just been around for a while. But again, British Hurricane, congrats to them. Bazooka Puppies now with a lot more work. We're going to take a bit of a break here, but when we come back, we're going to have our third game of the day for you. It's going to be Tea and Biscuits versus We Have Org. Blank and myself are going to stay on it here with you too. So we'll see you in a little bit for that one.